Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna check the group on that computer because that was the whole point of doing this in the beginning. And yeah, well, I can't really move it. This is on my tripod, but yeah, let's see if this works. Okay, so let's start with last night. Last night I worked on cams.com, and it is the website that got me started being a cam model since 2003. And what was funny about working last night, I worked about 3 hours online from like maybe 11 till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't take a break, I worked it straight. But while I was working, I was talking in the Discord chat with a fellow cam model who, her attitude towards webcamming is she feels like because she broadcasts live and people are coming into her chat room that she should automatically have them pay her for the experience that she's providing online. She doesn't talk to them. She doesn't start a conversation with them. She doesn't ask them how's their day. She doesn't ask where they're from. There's no rapport building that she does in her her process of when she goes live. And the whole time I'm online, and I'm like, but I'm making $40. I just need to reach 50 so this website will pay me for that pay week. I should have been working every single day more often in the cam schedule, but I'm just juggling a lot of things, sorting out my personal stuff. But I make sure that when I log on, that everybody that's in my room, I greet them, I start a conversation, I find out what they're looking for. I don't just jump in and be like, take me private chat. Even though it's in the conversation. It's in the conversation of when they're in my room, because I need them to convert into a paying customer. Whether it's their first time there, they've been on the website for a while. Like some of these customers on webcam sites or phone sex websites, they've been that company's customer since like 99. So this thing has been going on, if you do the math, 20 plus years of an industry that has hundreds of websites out there that you can work with that all provide the same experience. They see a pretty girl, they want to have some type of relationship with you, they go into this fantasy that they could meet you or they could marry you or they could, when the big thing you have to remember that when men are typically your paying customers, they are there because they're lonely. There's a need that's missing in their lives that they come online. Hey Alicia, so there's a need missing in your customer when they're on your profile. Like they're either lonely, they're either military, they have a wife that doesn't talk to them anymore. Like they're trying to fill a void why they're coming to these websites. And it's pretty basic, really, when you really think about why people do things when they're lonely and desperate. Sometimes it tends to be where they spend a lot of money, and this is one of the services that they would spend a lot of money thinking they're filling a void because they have a connection with you, because it feeds into this illusion fantasy that you are their best friend or you are their girlfriend. Like the whole process of internet dating, and like if you watch the TV show Catfish, the skill that happens in catfishing, it's exactly what cam models and phone sex operators do as a profession. So I actually can't watch some episodes of Catfish because it feels like work. And once I know that when I log on and someone's in my room, they're just looking for something. Like I had a guy in my room last night that's a repeat customer. I'm bad at remembering their usernames. And it's just because I've been doing it so long, every username looks the same. Everybody's Chippy, everyone's Hung, everyone's John, everyone is, yeah. Like there's certain customers I would remember, but it's based on each website has a different way of keeping track of your regular customers. It's like I may want to take notes in a spreadsheet somewhere for my spenders, but some guys come in your room, they only spend on you once, they'll never come back, or they only call you one time and they'll never come back. So like you have that also to keep track of, like who's a regular repeat, who's a lifer, who's a one-time guy, I'm bored, let me try this out. Or you have people that come online and they'll never spend any money, but they always talk to you online. And that's the thing. So when I talk to, like I'm talking to my friend while I'm working, and like to be completely blunt and honest, she is miserable about it. Very, very miserable about it. Being a webcam model, being a phone sex operator should not be a miserable job. It can get to be miserable, but when it does get to a level of miserable, you really need to take a step back and like evaluate what you're doing. As it's not them. It's definitely not the customers. The customers have their own sets of problems. The website is there to facilitate an escape for them. You are part of the drug that you're providing. Like you're part of the supply and they're part of the escape. Maybe you watch Intervention as well as a TV show to understand the cycle of falling into a habit that's obsessive and addictive. Webcamming, phone sex, falls into that. So when you know what, like, that psychology of it, it makes the job so much easier. I'm not saying to go out and, like, read a bunch of psychology stuff, but at least the psychology stuff that's on the obsessive behavior pattern, because you are part of the reward aspect out of it as providing the service that the customers are paying for, which is also goes into another thing of why the websites pay the way they do in the percentage structure that they offer, because they know if you can get a customer hooked onto you, thinking that they love you, that they want to marry you, that they're ugly, like obsessed by you, like the whole catfishing process, you can make a lot of money. And then the websites make a lot of money. This is why the websites also advertise that you can make $10,000 in a month or $10,000 in a week, because they only need one provider on their service to do it one time to make it a marketing thing to get more models or more phone sex operators to do it. They just need to happen once, and the business, they're on profit or they have more money for marketing. It's just the style of the business. So where was the question in the group? I hope that covers stuff, because the job is really not that complicated. And it actually has very little to do with nudity, sexuality, or being naked, or any of the sexual things that the media portrays as the horrible thing about being a phone sex operator or a cam model. You're literally there to provide an escape for the male customers that are missing something in their lives that everybody, human behavior does. Everybody has something that they use to escape from their current reality. And then when you know that, it could be literally anything. Like it could be like buying shoes, or like we have this in our brain because of routine and habit and behavior, and then obsession. That's what feeds a lot of consumer purchasing for everything. I remember Alicia posted a comment in the group. Where did it go? Okay, there's me. Awesome. Right. So the question was, she wanted to induce herself, become a, so she took a break from being a PSO, and right, barriers. I think I covered that. If I covered the whole barrier thing, let me know. Hey, Precious. Um, yeah, so I became a PSO last year, took a very long hiatus. I honestly, okay. So the thing about webcamming and the nudity, describe it. There are some models online who do not get naked. And there's some models online who do not do sexual shows. They don't masturbate. They just don't. I don't like, it's more of, the more I researched like other cam model interviews, it is typically done by cam models that are in the European, Russian, Romania countries. Their studios train them on that. They train them on this way of being like an internet geisha. It's like, it's all like, it's part of history for women companionship services to do it, but I can't break down exactly what that is because I've chosen to go with the route of, like, I'll have a conversation with a guy in my chat room when I'm doing webcamming, and then for me to get them hooked onto me, I figured out a way of adding in my sexual behavior in a way to keep them in my room longer, because I discovered it was the fastest way of me making money, and it was the fastest way of me getting them hooked onto me by providing that. But there is a group of cam models out there who don't do that. They're in paid chat, and I would think they would be naked, but then when I go through all their pictures, when you have a membership account, they're completely, they have their clothes on, and I don't know how they do it, but because these websites have thousands of models on their website, you would have to take the time to research those models that are offering that style of service to see how they do it, because it's just a skill you have to develop if it's like something you want to learn or practice, that comes into doing this more often. And to get over the barriers and the obstacles of doing this, especially like it, once you know that you want to, then it makes sense to spend as much time as possible online building your customers so they can see you. Hey, Markeisha. So it can be done. It's just I'm not typically able to explain to you exactly the steps in how to go from customer in your room to having this relationship being built, having to spend money on you, building that friendship relationship where you go back and forth and they still spend a lot of money on you. It's something you have to develop as you're doing this work, and you'll figure out how to transition to that conversation, how to transition it to a sale, how to get those members hooked on you for that behavior. But it's just something you have to do, because most of this work is based on doing instinctual behavior based on the interaction that's happening live in your room. Like, there's general things I can tell you to do, and it's typically when you join a website to know the rules they allow to have happen in your room. And then after that, it's just creative process. Like, the more creative you can be to keep the guys in your room, to remember them, to remember their jobs, to remember where they're located, to remember if they have wives or not. Like, the more you build relationships with these men, the more things they'll tell you about them. And it's just that. Like, it's like you're always an available girlfriend, but you're always not available also as a girlfriend. Like, you're available because you're online and available to talk to them, but you're not available because you're online available to talk to them. So I hope that helps, because it's just something that I naturally do, but I don't break down every single step of what that is, because this is a live environment. Majority of what happens in a live environment. If you're not in the live environment, you'll never know what customers are coming to your room that like you, or think they can date you, or want to marry you, or that they love you, or like they'll send you 500 tokens, because it's that relationship. Like, you could practice with speed dating. It'll help you break out those conversations, but it's just conversations. The more conversations you have, the more you're able to like recommend, like, join your fan club, or that'd be nice, but I need a tip for $5. Like, it's just a conversation that happens all the time. And webcamming, the way it's set up, that even though, yes, the customers can spend a lot of money on you, they need to be warmed up to it. And then phone sex, they see your profile, they listen to your greeting, they take a chance from reading your profile to jumping on the phone with you. But then in the first like 90 seconds, they pretty much know if they're going to stay around with you on the phone. But it's up to you to be able to ease into that as quick as possible to keep them on the phone past the 90 seconds. Because if you can get anybody in your room or on the phone to stay with you longer than 3 minutes, you pretty much figured out the connection. Because I've noticed that my customers that stay longer than 3 minutes, they stay up to 10 minutes to an hour with me. And the longer you're with them, it's coming up with creative ways of keeping them on the phone with you, or keeping them on the webcam chat with you. And it's just something you have to do in a live environment. Okay, I hope that covers it, because, again, like, certain things are just instinctual. You go on, you're live in the environment, you have people coming at you in the room, you talk to them, like, it's just that. But then there's things like that are common of their objections. So maybe I could read the chat I had with my friend, because that was... Okay, yeah, webcamming, phone sex, it's about building the relationship. So it's building a relationship that is, best way to describe it, a false persona. So like the TV show Imposters, that would be a good example too. Because that is the like anything that's con related, that skill set is what keeps you running in phone sex and webcam. It's learning that skill of playing this character long enough so that you get enough money from these people and you do it over and over again. Not that I'm saying like we're con artists, but it's definitely this skill set. It's coming from the environment of conning, seduction, an illusion, being available but you're not available. Like it's just how this system works, of being able to get into that mode of being a con artist long enough so they can spend a lot of money on you in a safe environment of a webcam site or a phone sex website, where you also have the ability to block them or report them to the website if they're being out of line. But this is the one place that being like a professional catfisher will definitely just bring you a lot of possibilities. Three weeks is good. 3 weeks is good because of you probably already had your first paycheck come in, or it's going to be coming in, and you probably already figured out the objections that these guys give you. Like typically I hear, oh, I need to wait for my wife to leave the room, or they're waiting on their paychecks, A lot of guys are waiting on their paychecks. And the thing is, when a guy says they're waiting on their paycheck, it really depends, because they could have actually spent their website limit on the web, because every website limits the amount of money they're allowed to spend from their credit cards just to avoid fraud charges. But some guys also, they do that in a way of lying, like just generally lying. So you also have to like know they're lying, but go with the lie. And depending on that conversation, if it doesn't completely irritate you where you don't want to talk to this person, then it's either wait and see if they'll come back, or block them and take the chance of losing that potential customer to spend money on you. So it's just, again, it's just something that happens in the live environment of, they're in your room, they tell you, oh, I just spent all my money today, or I'm waiting on a paycheck, or I added you to my favorites. Oh, like it's like they are real people, but you also want to be able to make your money at the same time. And that's the thing. So like when they're emailing you a lot and they don't tip you, they don't tribute, they don't show that they have $1 to give you, you really have to know, like, how much of this person do you want to spend emotionally with? Because it becomes emotionally draining. Of, you're going back and forth with them, they're wasting your time, but you also want to play it out. So that's just basically on your discretion of who do you want to spend your time with, and how long do you want to put up with this cat and mouse thing and not have a reward from it. And some guys are generally just there to waste time, but you can't all put them all in the category of time wasters, tire kickers, and freeloaders, because some guys are they just stumbled on the website. And the traffic from webcamming and phone sex typically comes from a dating website. They typically see your picture or your profile on a dating website as the upsell in a dating website, and they think you yourself are on the dating website available for them, and you have to figure out a way of navigating that you're the upsell, they're on a dating website, and keep that friendly chat back and forth that they'll eventually realize they need to spend money. And that's just part of the sales process. It can be. Like, majority of this work is annoying. But there's a potential of a lot of money involved in putting up the annoying. So you also have to keep that target in mind of, yes, like, majority of our traffic is dating websites. Like probably more than 50% of our traffic is a dating website. Because we're in the relationship business, and then dating websites needed to send their traffic that they were losing to an offer, and webcamming and phone sex became that offer for the dating websites to keep their revenue running. So they promote our profiles. It's part of the whole marketing, affiliate marketing umbrella that some reason the companies don't teach that at all. They don't teach where our traffic is coming from. They just expect us to be the performer, the provider, the phone sex operator, and just deal with our customers in the room. They kind of want us in the dark about it, because they figure they're paying you a percentage for you to just be the entertainment. So the relationship of the companies are kind of a little bit poor, and it's just the way the business is set up that way. And it's just one of those things I've learned to put aside while I just focus on what I know. Okay. So, did I cover everything? Yeah, I was just checking the group to see if there's anything else I missed. I remember like Nancy mentioning in the group wondering what best websites to work. And the best websites are the websites that you are personally happy with. Like right now, I'm debating dropping a website I've been working with since 2005 because they changed their options of paying their their webcam models. So I used to work on I'm Live, not a lot, but enough where my lifetime on that website for 4 years, I made like $600. And because I have a lot of websites that I work, and sometimes I'm impressed. I remember all of the websites that I work. So they stopped offering check in the mail, it looks like, and now they're only providing their payments through a third party e-wallet. And one of the e-wallets, Paxum, I'm having a problem with because the prepaid card that Paxum will provide so you can access your money has not arrived yet, and it's been since May. And then the next e-wallet option is e-payments. E-payments, I don't know what to think of them yet. So far, their customer service, they've answered me really quickly. I get their email updates when they change things really quickly. But to take the risk of having a company send me my money to the third party, the e-wallet, and then have the e-wallet send me that money to my bank account or on one of those reloadable prepaid Visa or MasterCards, it's a bit of a risk. Even though there's multiple streams of income sources that I will be okay in having my money come to me, like actually in my hand or in my bank account faster, it's just because I've been with these companies for like a decade, and now that there's a hiccup in the system, my security of these companies are a little bit shaky. So that is just part of being a business owner with these companies, is that not only do you have to deal with managing your customers and then managing the payroll department, at like the company relationship, they try to tell you as much as they can when they know what's going on, but it does shake up things of getting paid because most of these websites, they've been around 20 years, 30 years, but when something changes in the industry itself, like payments processors, it does make things a little bit like you have to wait and see what's the best option so that you can keep rolling and making money in these businesses. Because majority of the websites I work, it's perfectly fine. It's business as usual. Like if I made $50, the minimum threshold payout on cams.com last night, I would know in about 5 days they'll be sending me that money to my bank account, and then I would have it. But when I'm juggling a lot of things, trying to figure out which income sources I need to keep, which websites I like, it's a combination of figuring out when I work that website, how quickly do I make my money from that website, and then how quickly have the website set up their payment options in place where there's no break in between of waiting to get paid from these websites. So it's just something to keep in mind of like doing this. Like it is a thing that pays well. It is a thing that you can do well, but you also want to keep like an emergency fund, or you want to make sure that not all your payments are paid in the same method, or you want to work on websites that your brain can mentally organize who you're working with. Because I would say join all these websites, but you need to manage your time with all these websites as well, because each website has a different way of selling to their customers of the promotions and offers they provide. And Then you need to organize your time on these websites. But at least with these websites, the customers, their behavior is all the same. Like the customers all behave the same way. They all want to test your boundaries. They all want to say the same excuses. They all think that you are you are their best friend ever, that they can meet you. But when it comes down to the business aspect of it, the admin stuff, those things you're going to have to figure it out as an individual business owner. And those are the things that, weirdly enough, of going through this career and going through this process of having this income source, people don't see that. People outside don't see that. They only focus on that you're providing a sexual service for money, and it's that part of that small piece is going to ruin your whole life. When really the piece down here of customer service, how do I get accounting? Do I get paid at tax time? Do they send me 1099s? Where's the traffic coming from to run my business? Like those things, your outside influences don't see at all. They only focus on this little piece, and that little piece is like the non-issue of this whole entire thing. So I want to, I know a lot of you guys are new and you're starting, you took a break, or you're trying to get into the rhythm. Just keep in mind that you need a way of organizing your money. Like these companies will pay you as long as you follow the agreements, and their agreements with payment processors are in order. And it does become a really nice, smooth relationship. But when there is like a hiccup in the relationship, there's times where you just can't tell anybody what's happening because they only focus on, oh my God, you're naked on the internet, or you're talking to men about sexual things of like foot fetishes or cock and ball torture or like things like that, when it's not even the discussion of the problem. It's like this. So this is why this group is here. There'll be things that come up like that. I want you to be aware of it. Don't really stress over it. Only stress over it when that problem, if it is a problem, comes up in your life. It may not. Like there's just certain things that happen in this industry that people never experience because they've figured out how to organize this as a way of making a living and a lifestyle that provides for them really well. And they just roll with it as it comes up, when it comes up, and they have this Teflon armor to handle it. I think that's it. I think so. I mean, I covered a lot. I did. I covered a lot because my brain has a lot I've been through and didn't realize that you can benefit from it. But there's a lot. Like if you're starting and you're getting calls and you're getting your customers, keep at it, and you'll work things out as you get past the 1 year mark. The 1 year mark of seeing which websites you like, which ones you don't like. You've already figured out a system of handling all your customers, of remembering them, blocking them, ignoring them. Like it does become this nice way of, I need to make money today, let me log on and make some money. Or you have a couple hours left in the pay schedule and you want to make sure that you need money for that vacation or to pay a bill or top up your savings. Like it can get that way of, this becomes a cash machine for you and a consistent cash machine based on setting up the foundations and then building the mindset to handle outside influencers that just don't understand what this is. All right, let's see. Wait, I'm scrolling. Okay, now I'm just liking comments. I should probably just log off. Okay, So I don't see any new questions in this group. Let me know if something comes up you want me to answer, or you need a perspective on, or you just need help having a quick solution to move through that hiccup so that you can roll into a consistent cash flow building routine. Because the way I see this, webcam phone sex is my fastest way of getting cash. It trumps everything that I'm formally qualified for, which is retail, minimum wage, bartending, and not even bartending. Bartending, I need to get Smart Serve certificate, which is like, I think $100 to get that certificate, and it doesn't even guarantee that a bar will actually hire me either. Yeah, so like this is literally the fastest way of cash, and I really like that I'm able to break down everything about it and get people in that mode of fastest way of cash. And the fastest way of cash, whatever the dollar amount is really up to you personally. And once you get to that space, it's very, very, very fun to get to that space. So I will see you guys on the next one. I may do like a schedule. I don't know yet, but I do want to make sure that people are focusing more on working and less on hiccups that come in, because the work can be really, really fun once you get into that routine. So, yeah. So, okay, great. I will see you guys later.